have an external CSS, you can code it within the HTML file. So how to do it? You can put it inside the head tag or the body element. All right. So how to do it? You need to put a style and follow by the CSS. Okay. The next one will be the inline element, inline style. Okay. So for every element, there'll be an attribute called style. If you put a style here, you can actually put the CSS property within it, and it will be styled directly. Okay. Later on, I have a demo section. I'm gonna show you. Okay. And yeah, the next thing, how to use, how to use the selector. Okay. Okay. So just now I show you the P. So the P here is to find all the paragraph. Okay. So if we have a template on the right, if you put a P, so it's actually looking for all the P element to style it. Okay. This is the type selector. Okay. Later on, I'm going to show you the other than P selector. Okay. The next one will be the class selector. Why we use the class selector? Because we want to have different elements with the same style. Okay. If you class selector will often start with a dot in front. Okay. So if you want to apply inside the element, so you need to use an attribute start with class equal to the class name. All right, then you apply the style defined in the CSS. Okay, so the class selector here, right? So you find out all the class with the name awesome. If you look at example on the right, it will be the H1, the heading one, and also the division. Okay. The next thing will be the ID selector. Within the element, we can actually give a name to the element. So to give the name to the element, we normally will use the ID equal to the name. All right. And CSS is able to find the element with the ID. So normally you will start with the hash and then followed by the name. So in this example, it will find the first paragraph. Okay, so the first paragraph, this element will apply the style defined in this style. Okay, so the property and value. Okay, just now we talked a lot about the selector. So if for the property and value, there are a lot. Okay, okay, I'm not going to show you in the slide, but this will be your homework to study by yourself because there are really a lot. Okay, if you look at the link here, let's pick some common one to show you. For example, color. Okay, so we can find the selector will be able to find a body. That means you'll find body. So let me zoom out a bit. Okay, then change all the text within the body to red. Okay, so, and also the color, you can use the color code here as well. If you use Visual Studio Code and if you put the color code within it, you can actually select the color. Give you an example. So let me create a style. Okay, for example, we find A and then open a closing curly bracket. Okay, then we change the color. You can select the color here. For example, maybe the green one. So otherwise, you can click on the box here. Okay. Oh, sorry, it's not clickable. The other method you can use is hash, then followed by the color code. Okay. So if you ask me how to read the color code, I cannot tell because I'm not really good at this color code, but you can select. I forget how to show it up. Okay. Yeah, here. So you can point and select the one you like, and it'll show you the color code. See? Okay. And if you save it, go to the browser. So the color will change. Okay. So in the example just now, I actually select all the link, which is a element, okay, here, to change the color to this color. Okay. Sorry. So the next one probably be font. Okay, you can change the font size as well, or the font. Right. For example, let's start with the font here. Okay, continue with the A. You can actually define many style that you want. So let's go font size. Yeah, this is the benefit if you use code editor rather than a notepad. If you use notepad, everything you have to type it one by yourself. But if you use editor, you showed up the value, probably you can choose. Okay, so maybe 30 pixel. Okay, so if you refresh, you see the lorem ipsum changed to a bigger font. Okay, so and then how can we inspect this? You click on the inspector, select the one you're going to inspect. You click, you come to the, sorry, I need to zoom out a bit. All right. So you point you to the right element, and within the right element, you can go to the style here. You can see the CSS that you define in the file. See? Okay, you can unselect it and select it, or you can even change the color here if you want to. All right, change to blue and enter. The color will change to blue, but it doesn't save into the file. So if you change the file and this display is what you want, you need to change it in the HTML file too. Otherwise, you'll lose the value. Okay. All right. So, yep. So another thing would be the border, maybe a simple one. Okay. So let me show you how to code the border. Okay. So if let's say this division, we want to have a border division. Okay, let's do it in another way. We create a class, right? For example, add border. Okay, then we put a border here. So this is the class selector. You can apply to those elements that you want to have this style. Okay, so in this division, we can add the class equal to border without the dot. Okay, and then you'll see in the file here, it'll have a red border. Okay. All right. So yeah. So there'll be a lot of it. So I made this into a homework for you. So you just have to go through one by one to learn what are the property and the value gonna be. And yeah, after you learn it, and you can start code the CSS already, and it takes time for you to learn it. But yeah, be patient and you'll be success. All right. So the next thing is demo. Okay. Let me show you. I created a simple website with a CSS in it. Okay. Let's go to the second one. I have another HTML file. I pre-coded it. Okay. So what I'm gonna do here is I have a division called header. So with the title, I'm gonna change it woman who could. Okay. And the paragraph here, maybe some Laurenism. Okay, one paragraph will do. Okay, cool. And I have another division called the content. Okay, so the content will have a header one, Angular study group. Okay, and with some paragraph within it. All right, so if you look at this image, okay, let me open up. Okay, it is empty. There's no style. I'm sorry, let me open in Google Chrome. So there's no style with it. So you see, this is one header. Let me open up the inspector tools. All right. So here. So if you point here, you highlight the element that you're selecting. So if you open up, so this is the H1, the header one, which is woman who could, and the P is the paragraph that I put within the header division. And the second division that I have, Angular study group, and some paragraph right below. Okay, so we're gonna start it. So let's start with, okay. So yeah, I actually do it beforehand, so you have this value. So let me uncomment it, and here we go. So we have a style element here. We're going to put all the style that we need within this style element. Okay, so first of all, we need to find the body selector. Body here means this element. Okay, all the font family goes to Arial, and the margin is 0. Okay, so let's save it and see the result. Okay, so after I refresh it, you see the font is already changed. So let me show you how can we see a before and after value. So you select the body. Okay, and you see there's a body with a font family Arial. This is after we change the value. If before we change the value, you see this is the display here. Okay, after we reapply, so this is Arial. Okay, so second thing, so we're going to create a class called header, and the header will apply some style sheet within this divisions. Okay, so let me uncomment this, and I will explain to you one by one. All right, in this header class, so you start with the dot here. Okay, we're gonna have a margin, a padding 60 pixel, and the text alignment, we want it to be center, and we would like to change the background to this color. If this is a blue color, and we want the text to be in white color. Okay, and the font size 30 pixel. So if we apply this header class into this division, the only class that affected by this style is this one. Okay, see the result. Here we go. Let's see, look at it. The website suddenly become colorful and it is nicer to see compared with the previous one. All right. So the next thing that we're gonna do is style this division. Okay. So let me uncomment this. Okay. If you look at here, right? Look at the example here. The content is actually aligned to the left and without some padding. So without some padding, so it could be hard to see. So we need to add a padding into it. So we create a class called content and we apply it into this element. Okay. And this padding is 20 pixel. Okay, let's see. Okay, see, it suddenly it applied the padding, so it become a little space. It has a little space on the left, right? It become a better readable HTML page. All right. So yeah, I think that's all for the CSS. Yep, that's all for the CSS. Let me see if you have any question.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no question. Okay. All right. So let's proceed to the next. We have just finished HTML and CSS. Okay. But to get used to the HTML and CSS, you need probably take some time to learn it and to get used to it. And no worry, I prepare some homework for you. But before we go to the homework, let's see this question. Okay. Can I become a front-end developer if I'm not good at UI design? Yeah, I think this question probably come up with lots of developer hate. Yeah, so the question is that you can become a front-end developer because I am not a good UI designer. I cannot design a very nice HTML page as well. If you are in the same like me, no worry because there are another way to code the front end with using the external library. Okay, so for CSS, probably um, we don't want to scratch to create a website from scratch. Okay, or it will take too long time to create a website from scratch with the CSS you define by your own. Okay, most of the time we use a CSS library to start our website. So there are a few famous one. Let me show you. First of all is Bootstrap. Bootstrap is a website, I think in most of the website, I think around 60 to 70% are using this Bootstrap CSS library. Okay, let me show you the website. Okay, the website is getbootstrap.com. No worry, I send out the slide and later on you can go and see by yourself. Okay, so this Bootstrap is actually predefine all the classes, the CSS classes in a CSS file. By applying the CSS library into your HTML page, you can fasten your front end development. Okay, give you some example. If you come to the component, okay, okay. For example, we have this division. Okay, if you don't apply this class right, it probably will look very ugly. Maybe just a text like a simple primary alert check it out. All right. After you apply this class alert and then space alert dash primary, you have this style. See, really help you a lot by kicking up the HTML design. Okay. Um, there are a few more. A material design by Google. This is very nice also. Okay. If you look at typography, they'll tell you why they design so and why they have those design, what are the font size and the spacing and the weight. Okay, this is material design. Okay, so you can go and study it. Normally I'll choose one or two to study because there are really a lot, and those library change very frequent. And if there's a version upgrade, then you have to learn again because there are some breaking changes and maybe the class name are different, things like that. So the most common one will be Bootstrap. All right, let me guide you how to use the external library to develop a very nice website. Okay, so I use a Bootstrap to demo. Okay, this I think all the tutorial here, right? This one is the most exciting one. Okay, all right. Let's create a index.html file. Okay, as per usual. So go to the Bootstrap website. Let's close this one. Okay, go to home. Click on the get started. Okay, you'll see there will be a CSS link here to copy and a JS file to copy. But I would like to copy the starter template. Okay, I will tell you what are there. All right, so just copy all of that. There's a button on the top right. Just copy it, put it into your code editor. Right. Okay, let me copy this. This is my to-do list. Okay. Okay. If you look at the let me wrap it. Okay. If you look at the starter template, okay, it is the same like what I told you earlier. You have the HTML. Okay. It'll be the head tag. This is the head element here. Okay. What it the meta tag is still the same. Okay. We didn't change. But the new thing here is the bootstrap CSS. So they use a link and put a relationship to style sheet and put on the href CSS link here. So it will go to Bootstrap website to download the CSS library into your index.html. Okay, so the next two attribute is actually to check for the security, integrity, to check the file whether is this the file you're downloading. Okay, and the cross origin is actually a security checking, same as the integrity. All right, and on the body, you'll see there are three script. This is JavaScript. All right, so you need to download some jQuery. Okay, but jQuery is not needed in the Angular development. So for this HTML and CSS, we just put it here first. All right, and some popper. This is another CSS class that required for the Bootstrap development. Okay, and the third thing is the Bootstrap JavaScript library. All right, if you don't use it, that's fine. But if you need it, you have to include it in the bottom. All right, let's go through my tutorial. Um, okay, okay. After you copy the starter template into the index.html. Let's open it up so that we can see. Okay, double click. Here we go. I prefer Google Chrome. Yeah. Okay, it will be empty because we don't have any element within the body. All right. If you come back to the editor here, okay. So the title is Hello World. So you see the title here become Hello World. Okay. So the first thing first, okay, we need to add a bootstrap CSS library. We just did. So this is it. Okay. The next thing, we need to add a navigation bar. Okay. Probably you need to take some time to browse the class here. Okay, but the navigation bar we can do it in, we can get it from the component. Okay, in this navigation bar. Okay, so they tell you they have this class you can apply, and you have this class you can apply for what purpose, right? The documentation is well defined. Okay, if you look at the example here, this is the navigation bar. Okay, so yeah, I would like to create the same navigation bar like this. So what I do here, I just copy the whole thing, okay, and paste it into my body. All right, okay. But if you come back to this example, there'll be a lots of link you might want to change. Okay, come back to the preview here. See, instantly you have all the navigation bar show up here without any property defined. All right. So next thing we need to do is that, okay, we probably need to change the value. All right. So if you look at here, there'll be a lots of things. First of all, Bootstrap have their own defined element called nav. All right. And they put a class here. And there'll be a link here where you can click called navbar. Okay. Let's go back to the example here. This is the navbar. All right. It's a link clickable. So we need to change this. So let's change it to Bootstrap. Let's copy here. Okay. And if you refresh here, click on it, it'll redirect you to Bootstrap. Okay. Okay. Next thing, the button here. Okay. So because Bootstrap is actually a responsive website, it's not only cater for a computer or laptop, it is cater for mobile too. Let me show you what is this button for. Okay. If you select the second one, right beside the inspector, you can actually change the size of the browser. Okay. So you can change another phone like iPhone X, right? And then you look at the navigation bar, because if you uncheck this one, there'll be home, link, drop down, and also the display here. Okay, and the search bar here. But if you display this in a mobile device, it will look very, very ugly. So the button here is actually hide the link, and if you click on the button here, you drop the link at the bottom. Yeah, so this is the button for. All right, so we call this responsive website. Okay, and yep, the next thing will be here. Okay, this will be the link on the top. So the navigation link. So you'll see inside the division, there's a an order list, but they start it different way by using the nav. So they use CSS to start it. Okay, and within it you have the list item. Okay, the list item is where you can configure those link here. Okay, so let's remove all of them and rename one. Okay, so if you refresh, you see there's only home. Okay, so let's put it back. So we add another one. We maybe call it a block and save it. Come back here. So there'll be a block here which is clickable. Okay, and the search bar probably we don't want. We can just remove it. Okay, so yeah, you have your header. All right, and let's format the document a bit. So you format your HTML code nicely. Okay, and next thing, maybe we need to add a jumbotron. What is jumbotron? Probably you doesn't know about this, but let me show you the example here. You see, this is the example. You just have to copy the HTML here. Okay, you have this UI. Okay, so let's paste this here. Okay, format a bit. Okay, so come back to our code here. See, you have your hello world here. So you just have to go in and change the text. Maybe this is Angular study group. Okay, see, and the lid would be yeah, just remain the same. Yeah, be the button. If you click the button, this A is the button with the reference. You maybe redirect to Google. Okay, so you refresh and click on it. Yeah, and it's done. So look at that. This is how simple we can create a website using a bootstrap. Yeah. So yeah, and think, yep, that's all from my demo for bootstrap. So do you guys have any question?
No questions.
No question. All right, cool. So yeah, I will send you the slide, but there will be some homework to do because the element that I introduced to you just now is only the basic one. And the CSS property, right? Probably you need to revisit it because there are really a lot, and you need to learn at least the basic one, so that whenever you apply some CSS into your HTML file, you know what to do. I know there's an external library that you can use, but if you doesn't know the basic one, you cannot change or override the bootstrap style. All right. So yeah, the homework you still have to go through the HTML, the CSS, and the last thing will be if this will be a little bit advanced. If you would like to give it a try, yeah, just visit this website and there'll be a tutorial here to teach you how to design your website. All right. Okay. So that's it. So our HTML and CSS will be the next. I will teach you how to code a JavaScript.
Hello?
And
Can you hear me? Hello?
yes, yeah, I can hear.
Can you share the code along with the slides? It will be
Yes,
very
yes.
helpful.
Yeah, I'll share everything.
Thank you.
So, do you guys have any question? Yeah, and please remember to join the group so that if you do the homework and you face any issue, you can post your question there, and we'll be very happy to help you. All right. So, yeah, I will share the link to you later. I think definitely have all of your email and will send via the PTIC. If you don't have it, I think there'll be a video recorded and I put it right below the uh, YouTube channel there, right? So